RCA Records brings you the Vangelis Radio Special. Everything about Vangelis is big. He has an awe which only Greeks and Anthony Quinn seem to possess. He thinks nothing of playing maybe 18 keyboard instruments in a session, including a workout on a battery of percussion instruments, the mere sight of which would make most drummers go weak at their wrists. Vangelis was born in Greece, found himself in France during the Greek upheaval in 1968, and formed a band called Aphrodite's Child. Well, there were a couple of single hits. They split up. He recorded some film tracks, performed an amazing concert, moved to London, and now makes his recording debut with RCA with one of the year's most exciting albums, Heaven and Hell. This is the Vangelis Radio Special. The sounds of this extraordinarily imaginative and forceful young composer-musician, as well as Vangelis himself, rapping about his life, his music, and this remarkable album, Heaven and Hell.
This is Vangelis. It's difficult to tell you how I find setting because I'm very spontaneous. It happens when it happens. I don't like to prepare for a long time an album. It's more exciting for me to sit down and to play whatever comes. So this is the way that Heaven can happen. I spent 6 weeks to make this album, but I spent maybe 2 weeks to put down the first track. It takes me the time to sit down and play it. And as I play all the instruments in this album except the choir, in the first side you have a symphonic piece that takes about maybe 12 minutes. So take me to put down that track 12 minutes. And after, of course, I add some other orchestration, but it's of course 2 ways to work. Or you work in very long term. I don't usually like that way. Or to work very fast and very direct, So in the end you have an idea of your kind of atmosphere and vibration you are in the same time that you do it. So as I believe that every month and every day and every moment will change, it's very difficult to understand how we can go forever thinking of one idea and it's only different every day. Otherwise it gets boring to repeat yourself every time. If I compose Heaven again, it must be very different. I was like that 6 months ago. And now, every day and every moment, I have music in my mind. And I had an ongoing life. And I take only the music. It's like a picture. The moment that you take the picture, you take the moment that you take it, and that's all. You can never prepare the picture. I mean, yes, of course, you prepare the ideas, the declarations surrounding things, but it's not spontaneous anymore. I prepared the spontaneous. I feel it like that. I enjoy it. But it just happens like that. I can feel it to you anytime. The first one you just heard is made by keyboards and percussion and choir. I play all the keyboards and all the percussion. And the choir, and sometimes you have a very heavy percussions coming in. That's the choir also, they play sympathetic and big bass drum. And very close to this, very earthy and big and primitive sound. So I like to use those very heavy drums because the sound there's no doubt about this first basis. Maybe it's a connection of my origin. Yeah, because today people, when we talk about Greek music and in Greece, always we have the exploitation music like the bouzouki. I don't believe that is the real music. When you see all the rules, the colors, they are very simple. And you have the marriage between the sky, the sea, the light, and the stones. You have incredible harmony. So music is, I think, is exactly the same. And for me, the most simple thing is it's the sound of a drum or the sound of the flute or the voice. Maybe that primitive and simple way to treat the first piece, it's because of that. I don't know why the title. When you compose something, when you have a piece, so the problem comes, what title you want to give, because titles is very useful to sell something today. I hate to put titles in music, but when I put a title, I try to put the most vague possible that gives the opportunity to everybody, to a listener, to get in and to see anything he likes. That's why it's music about, because one of the rare things that music gives us is the opportunity to find yourself whatever, or what you want to find. It's the opposite when you read a book or when you see a picture sometimes, you have a definite idea about that. But music gives you freedom. So when you put a title, you cut the freedom. So always I try to find titles that they give you a very open thing. And heaven and hell is almost of the most open situations and ideas, because it's gone now for ages. Also, what is heaven for you is hell for me, or heaven, you know. But usually I don't want to get titles, really. I better to remember one, two, or three, or four to find out. And I don't like people to call big symphonies like this is heroic or like Beethoven or something, you know, because I think it's a little bit disturbing. You see, people, they used to have something so definite by the system, you know. This is blue, this is red, this is bad, this is good, this is our society, how it works. And I think the music that's wrong. It's easier, I would say, it's more commercial to put it in, but I think music is uncomfortable with a name. We try to find a name that fits and gives you the best limitations. This is Vangelis again. Actually, that's my first name, but my family is Vangelis for the nation. It's very, very big name and very complicated, so I prefer to use only the first name. It makes it easier in this situation. I started music very early, when I was 4 years old. I don't know why, if I started with the music, always the music started with me. It was so early, I can't remember, you know. And it was so natural. And maybe because it was natural, I stayed with the music until now. Nobody forced me to do music. And I never know what it is going to be again. Because I started with piano. Because it just happens to have a piano in my house. It was a beautiful, black, pink piano. So I was so excited all the time. Particularly inside when the strings is. And I continued to make music. And also, I was very, very close to the percussions. And when I was a child, I didn't have any drums or any things like that in instruments. So I used all the kitchen stuff. But actually, they make a fantastic sound. I use them until now. I never was interested to be a pianist or a conductor. I always play music and compose. Not to be a composer, because, you know, when you are a child, you don't have values. You can't say, I want to be a conductor or a composer, because they say to you, you are fantastic and things like that. I think you don't have time to be destroyed completely by the values of the society. So it was so natural and easy to compose. So I continued to know how to do it. I didn't have a musical profession in the family, but everybody in the family was involved with music. My mother, my brother, my aunt, and, my aunt discovered is fantastic pianist, but she doesn't do that, professionally. Very bad, but it's not just like a pianist. He isn't into music, but it's producer. I was born in not very big, but not very small town. So I had the image of the country and of the town by the sea. So I grew up in a big garden. I think I had a very comfortable childhood life. But I was not like the other child. I don't used to go out very often because I was always with my music. And music always takes me most of my time. Painting also, because I do paintings. But music is very important to me. This is Vangelis. I think all the electronic keyboards, all the synthesizers, there's no limitation. I mean, you can't say they have to be used like that or like that or like that. I think they give you the opportunity to use them as you like. And every year you have maybe one keyboard that is better. And when I say better, it gives you more possibilities. It doesn't mean that if you are a pianist, you can play a synthesizer. The technique is different. Maybe that's why you don't have today the number of keyboard players. You compare the number of the pianists that you have. The only danger is that who is going to win in the end, because you have or the synthesizer or you. I think it's like a battle a little bit. And if you leave the machine to possess you, then it's a little bit trouble. That happens very often, and it happens with contemporary composers sometimes, that they maybe admire the machines and the computers, but it's just machines, you see. So it's not so important. It's like you have to drive. It's like a car. So if you make a mistake, you can kill yourself musically. It gives you a great possibility. I think everybody can have a synthesizer at home. It was a very good idea years ago to have a piano. I don't say the instruments, the acoustic instrument was finished, and now we have synthesizer. Not at all. It's just we have some instruments more. That's what it is, and we have some more possibilities. A drum can is a violin, and guitar is a guitar. It's nothing to do with the synthesizer. Because sometimes the synthesizer can imitate the violin, doesn't mean that the violin doesn't exist anymore. You can never imitate the violin like that. The synthesizer is like another instrument that gives you maybe some other possibilities that the violin can give you. That's all. That was one of the very special moments in this album, and very spontaneous also, because one of my best friends is involved in that song, and he wrote also the lyrics, John Anderson. Second, because it happened so spontaneous again, just one afternoon. And it's not the usual way to try to find a song and to try to find who's going to sing the song and who's going to put the lyrics in, as usual. And we sat down one day, and I started to play the melody, and he felt so comfortable, and immediately he started to write the words. And it happens like that. So when we finished, we didn't know what happened. I love John's voice very, very much, and I like him like a person. So I'm very happy that happens in my album. I don't work with percentage, how much percentage I'm going to put of each music, classical or rock or pop or whatever you call it. But I have some influence of my Greek or Mediterranean existence, you see. I'm not a German composer, very occidental, that's obvious. But of course, today, by all the possibilities of communication that we have, radio, television and everything, I think we are influenced, everyone, by the general earthy sound that contains all the countries and all the human music. I didn't listen a lot of records. I was not very interested in that. I was not a freak of record freak or, just to have an enormous collection of records. I don't think that I spend a great time of my life listening to other records. I don't mind. I mean, I don't ask about names. I don't mind who composed what. I know all these groups. I know the Beatles and everything. Yeah. But I was never a big fan, crazy about something. No. I listen to the music and I listen to what's going on around. That's all. But I don't spend a great amount of time because I do music all the time, so I don't have, see, everything that comes natural is obvious. And I think that many people, they are able to do more things that they think that they can do. They start by other reasons that they don't know, psychological. If we take the example of the kids that they paint things, it's maybe the best paintings that I saw in my life, and I discover every day when I see a kid painting very basic principles of the good, bad, ugly, and beautiful. So when you say to someone, this is beautiful or this is ugly, I mean, this is one of the most criminal suggestions that you can, criminal acts that you can do. And that's why maybe the kids they stop painting after 8 or 10 years old. This was the answer why I was very happy and very lucky to start very early to compose and to do music, to make music. Because when I was 4 years old, nobody said to me, do that, do music. So I never followed music because of a value. I follow the music and I do music until now because it's a part of myself. This is Vangelis. The thing that influenced me, it's every natural way of music, any kind of music. Not only music, anything, everything. Sometimes you walk in the street and you have music. I mean, any little small detail can change your mind or can give you enough go to do something. It's very difficult to be influenced by bands and by groups because we have thousands but they're all the same. We don't have different things. That is one of the sad things that happened the last 15 years. If you compare the number of bands, groups and singers that exist today, and how many of those they are original. I don't want to mention anymore, but it's a little bit sad because it's just like another product. The pop music today, maybe it's a commercial future, but it's a very sad thing, and I don't think it's any spiritual future at all. In the Beatles it was maybe the unique combination of very popular and very honest music. And when I say honest, the Beatles they follow the 60s like change on evolution that happens. And it's just a very historical period. Now I think the pop music goes to the record companies or to the market. So everything that happens today is recuperated automatically by the system. What you want to do in music or political situation or revolution or anything you do. When I compose for a movie, every time it's a new experience. And if I like the movie, it's a pleasure to do it. Sometimes when we do something we don't like. But as we know today, we have to do things even if we don't like it because I don't know who is going to pay the amount of money that I need to have all my keyboards and all my studio and my laboratory. You see, the government can spend thousands of pounds to make guns or things like that, but music is not considered like something important today. So a musician, when he wants to do something, he has to find the money himself. So here we are. Music, it's two things that usually could happen with music. Music is devising too. in human music and cosmic music. As far as human is continue to go as he goes now, the only thing that he do is to go away of the cosmic conception of music and to do human music. It's a little bit sad today, the situation. But as far as human goes to the cosmic existence, that anyway is part of all the system, and as far as he finds himself in this original existing position, then he might make and produce more obvious cosmic music. Cosmic music means nothing. I mean, cosmic, it's a word that is very used today. You see, we have the civilized music and the cosmic. Cosmic is not civilized. Our music, until now, all the classical music that we have, we heritate our history, I mean, human. The classical music today is mainly Occidental music. This music is civilized music, games of principle, civilization and things like that. In fact, they make a concert in the Royal Albert Hall, and it was a very, very difficult concert, because you have to consider that you have the kind of music that is pure electronic. It doesn't sound like electronic. And you have the mixture of keyboards and choir and percussions. It's so many different things involved that it takes 2 days to set up all the gear. It's so difficult to make the balance, because if you play pure electronic thing, you have to balance that. When we talk about electronic things today, we imagine always space sounds. But as you see, this particular piece sounds like the symphony orchestra. So sometimes I thought that it was much easier to use the symphony orchestra instead to play myself all the parts of the symphony orchestra. But it was a very good experience for me to do it. I play the symphony orchestra with my keyboards, and I use 2 percussion players